Hi, this is Gary Fong, and I'm here to show you a new, what I think is an important development in Speedlight Flash. This is the new Phottix Mitros with built-in radio. So basically what they've done is they've taken the radio transmitter and receiver and stuck both of these into each unit. So these can function either as a transmitter or a receiver, which I think is great because the versatility is incredible. Now, I'm really into Speedlight off-camera flash simply because Speedlight off-camera flash is far superior to pretty much anything you can use out there. Speedlight off-camera flash allows you to do high-speed sync, and this is something that those big studio units can't do. So the studio unit will only let you go up to something like 1/250th of a second, where these can go up to 1/8000th of a second. And when you're outdoors and you want to have a very dramatic effect, then cranking up that shutter speed, going down to ISO 100 and letting these guys give out their tremendous output and then shaping the light, you've got quite a creative effect. But the thing is that there's a lot of confusion. It's a little bit complicated for a lot of people to do radio slaves or optical or infrared or whatever. And so I've got a lot of videos on my YouTube channel to show you how to use the different radio slaves that are out there. But what's nice about this is so simple, and it'll save you a lot of money. Each of these strobes are less money than the Canon counterpart, the brand name counterpart, and then they have these built in. So this is, I think, about $350. You'd be saving on that. So simply buy 2 flashes and you've got yourself a very creative off-camera flash system. This is also a regular TTL. This one is for Canon. They don't have the Nikon one out yet, but they soon will, and they have one for Sony, and I'm using the Sony Phottix transmitter and receiver. The reason why I like the Phottix is because it's so simple to use. On one side, the receiver has just basically a slide switch with 3 buttons, 3 choices, and that's the exposure groups, A, B, or C. So you can assign an exposure group to any of your flashes, underexpose one exposure group, overexpose the other exposure group to do different ratios and things like that. And then on the other side, it's simply just channels. Same thing with the transmitter device. You've got yourself these really big, huge buttons, and very simple to choose the channel and the exposure groups and assign those different things completely on top of your camera. And that's one thing that I really like about it. What's neat about it is if that you know the functions for the radio, they've just basically transmitted those exact same functions here, so the interface is very familiar. I'm going to show you how to set this up for transmitting and receiving. And again, this is a regular TTL for Canon. It's got the same guide number as the 580EX, guide number 58, and it's fully TTL. So as far as the flash goes, it's got nice build quality. It has the locking lever, metal shoe on the bottom, but again, it has radio. And the radio is something that is very popular. In fact, Canon created a new line of flashes called the CX600EXRT, and those will communicate with either another 600EXRT, exactly like this one, this situation where you have 2 flashes talking to each other, or they've actually got a radio built into the camera, but it's quite an expensive system. If you've got anything less than those new, say, Mark III cameras, and you want to be able to take advantage of off-camera flash with that same simplicity, this is the way to do it. Okay, so let's go to the flash and I'll show you the operation. Okay, to operate the Phottix flash, basically turn it on. You'll get the welcome screen here, and then your different modes. This is your ETTL, manual, multi, and we're back to ETTL. There's also a high-speed sync button down here, which is really cool. And all you do is press it once, and now you're in high-speed sync, so that your camera it will go straight up to 1/8000th of a second, which is really awesome. It's just a single button situation. Let's go ahead and hold down this button for just a couple seconds, 1, 2, and it goes into this menu here, which shows you the different options. So right now it's off, which means it's off the wireless, but we can go Optical Slave here, which would be any any other flash will trip it. Very limited in its use, but it's cheap. and then you can have it as a transmitter or as a slave. So that's optical. But what you really want to do is you want to use the radio, and the radio is built into this. This is what's cool. This is like having the 600 EXRT, except you're not limited to the number of cameras you can use. You can use this basically on any of the Canons, and you have you know, the 5D Mark III capabilities. So let's look at the transmitter. And under the transmitter, you have this is the main camera, and then you have exposure groups A, B, and C. And so you can make any of the receivers, of course, any of these exposure groups, and as long as you have the locations mapped out in your head, you can go plus or minus on the exposure to change the effects of whichever ones you want. And then right over here, we can select our channel. So basically, there's only a few things that you can do on a Phottix Slave. You would choose the exposure group and the channel, and that's basically it. You have 4 channels to choose from. Now let's hold down the mode button again, and it'll take us into the receiver mode. Here's the receiver mode, and the receiver mode right here, it says it's on channel 3. We can change the channel there, and the exposure group, and that's it. And that's all you need to do. Just match this up on the transmitter and the receiver for both of those, and you've got yourself a radio wireless system. Okay, well, I hope that helps you with a new solution for your radio slaves. This is the first time I've ever seen anything like this with a built-in radio transmitter and receiver, and I think it's really exciting. This is pretty much all you need to get started on super creative photography. I've got an entire channel, an entire playlist on off-camera flash, your different options for optical, infrared, or radio, and that is all on this YouTube channel. So please make sure to subscribe, and our subscribers get a whole bunch of fantastic content all the time. Okay, thank you.